Hey, it's Mark Diaz-Truman, creator of Our Last Best Hope. You've accessed vid 11, Spotlight Scenes. After finishing the choice scene, you'll move to doing spotlight scenes for each player. In a spotlight scene, starting with the player to the captain's left, each player chooses one or more characters to engage in a discussion or have a conflict with. Now, the spotlight scenes are about moving the story forward incrementally, meaning that you should be talking about the kind of conflicts your crew is engaging in, but you don't want to jump straight to dropping a bomb into the middle of the sun. One way to do that is to frame a conflict between yourself and some of the other characters. Look at your story cards. See if there's someone that you've marked as keeping you sane or driving you crazy that you can elicit a response from. Or perhaps someone who holds your secret that you might be able to interact with in a way that exposes that secret and drives some story. Spotlight scenes are a way of navigating the entire story piece by piece, rather than having to think about what kind of things are going to grow out of this enormously complex web of characters. We can think about what kind of things we'd like to talk about to start. Now, when players first encounter spotlight scenes, it can be a little intimidating. You're not sure exactly what's the right scene to have. The reality is there is no right scene. Spotlight scenes are about exploring the things that matter to your character. And it's fine to go ahead and just try something. Involve another character in that trying, but go ahead, try something. Now, for players that get really stuck, I encourage them to go back to those story cards. The reason that we set up those relationships to begin with is to make sure that our players have something to do when they get stuck. Look over your story cards, your sane, crazy, secret, and fear cards, and think about ways that you might be able to draw other people into the story. Now, if your character dies partway through the story, it doesn't mean you don't get a spotlight scene. In fact, we keep going around the circle with spotlight scenes until things are resolved, until we move on from Act 1 to Act 2. And so if it comes around to you and you've already died, it's not a problem. Go ahead and do your spotlight scene as a flashback. Imagine the first time you met the crew, or the last time you saw home. While we do very specific flashbacks for touchstones, flashback spotlight scenes can be broad and include many different players, including non-player characters that you can ask the other players to play. So, a good example of a spotlight scene might be for my android doctor to have a discussion with the priest on the mission about the nature of God. Or it might be for my loyal soldier to decide that he's going to have a conversation with the doctor about the inevitable death that they're all going to go through. Or it could be my noble scientist remembering the last time he saw his wife, and I might ask another character to play that wife, or bring an additional character into the scene. There's a lot of different options with spotlight scenes, and it's up to you to just try things out and see what works, building on what people before you have done. Good luck.